If you're not supporting one of their four teams in the World Cup, you're in for a pretty dull tournament. Let's run a thought experimental. Does hosting the World Cup make you the favorite? Not always. Germany was host in 2006 and reached the semifinals, but didn't win. South Africa hosted in 2010 and didn't make it out of the group. Qatar hosted in 2022 and was eliminated in the first round. But 2026 is different. The host team is genuinely talented, genuinely young, and when that crazy home atmosphere merge with quality on the pitch, things get very interesting. Group D has four teams, one host nations, one legend returning to the stage, one side on the verge of completing a miraculous journey, and one character team nobody should underestimate. Who goes through? Who surprise? And why could the final match of this group be the most politically charged fixture of the entire tournament? Subscribe channel to get informed by World Cup 2026 and welcome to Group D. 1994, 32 years ago, the last time the United States played a World Cup on home soil. Back then, most of the squad were semi-professional. Major League Soccer didn't exist yet. American soccer was, frankly, a global punchline. Today, entirely different picture. They have powerful guns. The USMNT has been reborn under Pochettino's 3-4-2-1 system, tactically disciplined without the ball, pressing constantly, and pushing two wingbacks high to create dangerous opportunities in attack. A generation that plays at top European clubs, knows Champions League football, understands the textures of world football at the highest level with modern football, and on top of all that, home advantage. In Los Angeles, in Seattle, in New York, their own fans will fill the stands. That is a force in world football that cannot be dismissed. But here's the real question: can they carry the weight of the being host? Now we are going to talk about the face of a generation, Pulisic, Christian Pulisic, the man at the summit of American soccer, key starter at AC Milan, the top active goal scorer in USMNT history, 33 goals in 86 appearances. But heading into this tournament, there was real concern. He hadn't scored in 2026. A glute injury cut his club season short. His performances in the final pre-tournament friendlies set off alarm bells across the entire USMNT fan base. Then, right before the tournament, in a 3-2 friendly win over Senegal, Pulisic both scored and provided an assist. Balogun added the winner. Confidence began to return. But the big question remains standing. Can Pulisic deliver when the moment is real? When the crowd is 80,000 and the stakes are everything? The USA needs that answer on the pitch. Coming up, we are going to talk about the star team of 2010 World Cup. What about the other star of the USA, Weston McKennie, 4 strong seasons at Juventus, heading to his second World Cup, Folarin Balogun, 18 goals in 40 appearances for Monaco last season. Both Sergiño Dest and Antonee Robinson found the net in recent friendlies, but defensive fragility remains a concern. And in the year and a half since Pochettino took charge, establishing a consistent identity and system has been a visible struggle. And it's worth stating plainly, the last time the USA hosted a World Cup, they went out in the round of 16. This squad has the talent to go further, but every piece needs to click at once. The USA is standing in the middle of the greatest opportunity to prove what this sport means in their country. If they waste it, this generation may not get this stage again. We are going through to our second team on Group D, Turkey. Hakan Çalhanoğlu was 8 years old. He was playing in the youth academy of Waldhof Mannheim in Germany, and in 2002, Turkey was in the semi-finals of the World Cup. İlhan Mansız's golden goal, Rüştü Reçber's extraordinary saves, Turkey finished third. That 8-year-old boy is now the captain of that same team. One last game to satisfy the longing we've had since 2002, Çalhanoğlu wrote on Instagram before qualifying. My only goal is to play in the World Cup as captain. That goal is now real. Turkey had not appeared at a World Cup since that third place finish in 2002. Not in 2014, not in 2018, not in 2022, a 24-year gap. But this squad doesn't feel like a team that has been waiting. It feels like a team that has been building. Let's look at what they have on squad. Arda Güler, Real Madrid's top chance creator this season. Kenan Yildiz, cementing his reputation at Juventus as one of European football's most exciting young players. Güler, named Revelation of the Season in the 2025/26 UEFA Champions League, arrives as one of the most anticipated names in the entire tournament, and behind them all, Çalhanoğlu. He describes the camp atmosphere as positive, his captaincy as built around keeping balance, sharing decisions with senior players, making sure nobody is left outside the circle. Youth at the front, experience in the spine, a rare combination. The most important match of the group is Turkey versus USA on June 25th. This is gonna decide everything. They had played friendly match in June 2025 in Connecticut. Turkey beat the United States 2-1. And now, on June 26th, they meet again in Los Angeles in the group's final match for real stakes. That result could determine who advances and in what position. Turkey isn't coming with a young team that doesn't know the weight of the moment. They're coming carrying 24 years of longing and 2 generations of accumulated desire. We have the another country which is here for 6th time, but this time feels different. Australia. We must tell you the Australian football history for understand this country. They first appeared at a World Cup in 1974, then went 32 years without returning. 32 years. In 2006, they came back and reached the round of 16. Since then, they've appeared in 6 consecutive tournaments. When we look at the players, Matt Ryan and Matthew Leckie are set to join Tim Cahill and Mark Milligan as the only Australians to play at 4 World Cups, and 17 players in this squad will be making their World Cup debut. Experience and fresh blood together, a nice combination. Let's look at their wildcards. Nestori Irankunda, 20 years old, Watford winger, lightning quick, with a powerful shot that has already drawn attention at the highest level. One of the most exciting young names in the entire tournament. Mohamed Touré scored 10 goals in 12 games for Norwich City in the English Championship this season. This young striker, who exploded in the second tier of English football, could be Australia's biggest danger. Harry Souttar returned from nearly 500 days without playing after a serious Achilles injury. At Qatar 2022, his 86th minute sliding tackle against Tunisia kept Australia alive and sent them to the round of 16. Australia's target is clear: to go beyond the round of 16 barrier they reached in 2006 and 2022 for the very first time. Australia isn't a miracle story anymore. They're a team that belongs at this tournament, and one that could go further than anyone expects. For the last, we have a Paraguay, which is not here from 2010. They produced their greatest World Cup performance in 2010, the quarterfinals. They fell to Spain 1-0, the team that would go on to lift the trophy. 16 years passed, 3 tournaments missed, and now they're back. During the qualifying campaign, they passed over 2 giants, Argentina and Brazil. 2 victories that secured the final automatic South American berth. Let's go back to squad for Paraguay. Their identity is unambiguous. Defense first, a structure built to absorb pressure, exhaust opponents, and remain dangerous on the counter. The lack of firepower up front is the clearest concern. When we look at their most attractive players, we can see Almiron and Sanabria. Miguel Almiron, back in MLS at Atlanta United, but still the creative engine, the number 10 around whom Paraguay's attack is built. Antonio Sanabria, 7 goals in 45 international appearances. But in qualifying for this very tournament, he scored 4 in 8 appearances. When he's on, every match becomes critical. But the most important part of this team is not their stars, this is their unique system. Underestimate Paraguay and they'll answer you with 16 years of accumulated patience. There is a host team, a captain's childhood dream, 24 years in the making, a continent trying to break its own ceiling, and a country's quiet 16-year stubbornness. Group D is not just 4 teams, it's 4 different stories, 4 different motivations, and every single one of them is ready to leave a mark on this tournament. Who's your pick, and how do you see the USA versus Turkey match on June 25th playing out? Leave it in the comments. Like, subscribe. This format continues for every group.